You're going to be hearing me mention Switzerland, and what's that got to do with Christmas? July 11th, 1944, our plane, our bomber, was badly damaged, and we made an uninvited landing, crash landing in Switzerland, and we were the uninvited guests of the Swiss. They didn't treat us as POWs. We were internees in a neutral country, but we were their prisoners. They took us up to a little mountain village called Wengen. How many in here have read the book Heidi? Okay. We were right under the Jungfrau. We were up the Latterbrunnen Valley. We were in Jungfrau. And the Swiss, being opportunists that they were, good thinkers, they didn't build a big prison camp with barbed wire and everything. They took us up to Wengen. The only way to get into Wengen was by the cog railway. Okay? They had armed guards and military people around all the time. But what did they do for housing? Not tents, not in Switzerland. They had no tourists, but they had empty hotels. So they took some of the oldest hotels, and those were our barracks. Okay, there was no heat, there were some things, but we were in good shape. So I ended up spending the next several months in Switzerland planning how I was going to escape, because that was my order. I was told if you went down, your first duty was to escape. I learned German, I learned French. Okay, this is all background. Now we'll go from the 11th of July to actually 68 years ago this day, the 23rd of December, 1944. Joe Burdett and I, one of my crew members, felt that the Swiss had done so much for us. I mean, they had taken good care of us. Food was very hard to come by. We were being paid a flight pay so we could go out and we could buy some food, but there were a lot of Swiss families that were hurting. So on before December 23rd, we said, well, look, if we were back in the States, we would be getting Christmas baskets for these families. Let's do something about it. The response from the fellows that were up there, prisoners with us, was tremendous. We had more money we knew what to do with. We took it down to Herr Gertz, one of the shopkeepers down in the village, and said, do you know of any family that is hurting, that really needs help? Oh, you've got lots. I'll pick one out. I said, okay, you take this money and you buy food and gifts for them and let me know when it's available. On the 23rd of December, I got a call from Herr Gertz. Come on, dear, come and see here. And we went down to the store, and the Swiss guards were wondering what I was doing. I went down there, and I saw this huge laundry basket full of presents and food and everything. So, well, I can't carry that. I'll have to get some help. So I went back to the hotel, and I called Sergeant Pfeiffer, the guy that was in charge of our guards. That's fine. He said, I'll have some soldiers, a couple of guards go with you. So that evening, on the 23rd of December, Joe and I picked up this basket. Two armed guards with their loaded rifles walking right beside us. We went through the village town. We went to the other end of the village and started walking down the slope towards the Latterbrunnen Valley. And he stopped in front of this Swiss chalet. Everybody said, oh, a Swiss chalet. This was an old barn. It had been converted into a house. It was, yes, at one time it had been a beautiful chalet, but now it was not. The soldier got up to the door and boom, banged the door with the butt of his rifle. And you could imagine the look on the face of the owner as he came to the door. What did I do? And I had learned enough German. I explained why we were there. Okay, so we went into the house, and he saw the presents, and he was just thrilled. Well, the ceiling was just about that far over my head, and the odor in there told me that not only had it been a barn, it probably was a barn as well. There was an animal in there someplace, because it was not the perfume that you normally would see in a Swiss chalet. However, after he'd done that, he walked over by the fireplace, the crackling fireplace at the other end of the room. There was no electricity in the building, a couple of oil lamps, but didn't give much light. But that fire was just crackling away. He was going like this. We looked at the guards. We didn't know what we were supposed to do. And he said something to the guards, and the guards said, okay, go up there. And we went up, and there, by the fire, was a cattle feed box that was mentioned earlier this morning on a sawhorse. And we still didn't know what we were supposed to do. Come and see here, come and see here. We went up to the edge of the cattle, or the feed box, and there, in a bed of straw, wrapped in swaddling clothes, was a day-old baby boy. That's as close as I'll ever come to the manger, I'll tell you. I wasn't a wise man, I wasn't a shepherd. I